My name is Nicolette, and I'm your moderator for the call today. It is so good to be with all of you. This is our penultimate community support call. I got to use that word. So we have one more on December 1st, same time, same place. Bookmark this same link so you can join us next month. But we're happy to be with all of you today. In the United States, it's Election Day. So we do these community support calls to come together during uncertain times. This is certainly an uncertain time. So it's just good to be in community. And that's the juice. That's what we're here for. So if you know you'd like to ask John a question during this call, you'd like to bring anything, we welcome that. And you can get into the queue by pushing the participants button at the bottom of your screen and then opening the chat box, and there's a button that says raise hand. And then you can raise your hand to get into the queue. We love having you on video. It is so nice to see all of you and be with you in our little Brady Bunch squares. But I do want everyone to know that we unabashedly put this up on YouTube and also on our Instagram, because we want this support to be available for as many people in our community as possible, including those who are not here live. We also put this up on our virtual workshop. However, you can still be here by going off camera. You can have a pseudonym. All of that is possible. And you can also make a request, like if you know for sure that you don't want to be on YouTube, but you do want to ask a question, you can personally request that from me, and I will make sure that we edit you out, but you got to let me know. You have to say it. All right. The chat thread. So that is there for logistical questions. It's there for community support. It's there to hold one another, support one another. It is not a place to offer advice and to give feedback or constructive criticism. However, if you do have a piece of feedback or advice that you think would serve someone, you can ask them for permission. If you say yes, then go for it. Otherwise, if you have a content-based question, the way to get into the queue is by raising your hand. John doesn't answer questions in the chat box. We do have some members of our community who will try to support in that chat box. You'll see Ted, for example, is giving some responses in there. So we've got some folks, I will also be in there helping out. Let's see, and is that John unmuted, or is there, if we have anyone else unmuted, let's mute yourselves. So this is a free call, but donations are being accepted each month to organizations across the globe that are supporting those who are significantly impacted during these challenging times. This month, we're supporting LA Regional Food Bank. They're working hard to meet the needs of those impacted by the coronavirus, as well as individuals who typically need assistance. 97% of the revenues go directly to their programs, providing food for children, hardworking families, struggling seniors, and more in the Los Angeles County. And their website is lafoodbank.org. I'll also give you a direct link in the chat box. I'm hearing a lot of noise. Is that, there's someone unmuted? Okay. So I'll put a direct link in the chat box for donations. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Again, our next call is December 1st, but we're all here today. We've already got some hands being raised. So John, I'm going to turn it to you.
Hey everybody, yeah, the noise is going to be a little strange because I want to play some music and do a little practice here to start. You can hear me okay, Nicolette?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a little heads up. All right, just because it's the day that everybody's kind of anxious and freaking out, we need to do a little bit of clearing of our energetic fields. So bring your fingers together like this. Your thumbs are cocked. Your arms are straight up so that your biceps are even with your ears. You're going to press your feet into the earth or your sits bones, whatever works, okay? And if you're on your cycle, just breathe normally, just long, deep breaths. But if you're not, then we'll begin breath of fire. We're going to go for about 3 minutes. I'm going to play some music that I think sort of typifies the mood of the country. And what I want you to do is ground first. So make sure you're grounding. And then you're also lifting your heart. So it's a grounding and lifting your heart. Continue breath of fire. Continue your breath of fire. And you can still hear me, Nicolette? Okay, drop in. We're going to be here for a couple minutes. And really focus now on clearing the space in your aura. So clean, it's about cleaning, it's about transmuting, it's about purifying. There's no free lunches here. I want my pound of flesh. Arms out, arms out. Like your heart's lifting, like you're putting your arms into space. And then you're grounding your sacrum into the earth, and then breathe. Good, another 90 seconds, drop in. If you can straighten your arms, straighten your arms. If you can lift your heart a little bit, lift your heart a little bit. And feel everybody, feel the country, feel what's going on. Make a stand for what you believe in. In this moment, press what's true for you out. Blessing all those standing in line, blessing those exercising their right, blessing those who are sick today, blessing those who are scared. Make this next minute a blessing, spreading it across the country, across the world. Heart lifted, heart shining, sacrum grounded, feet grounded. Go, 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 go. 45 seconds left. Stay with it. Good. Feel out. Feel out. Feel those people who are struggling today and send them some juice. It's good to be alive. Good. And then in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring your arms to touch, bring your fingers to touch above your head. Lift your fingers like you're going to plug it into the stars. Take an inhale in, and then squeeze your perineum, root lock, center column, squeeze, 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 hold the breath, squeeze, squeeze, consolidate all that energy you created. Squeeze, squeeze, and then exhale, arms wave down. Good, just take a minute to find your breath. Let me adjust the settings back. All right, we should be back to normal. Sounds okay, Nicolette? All right, great. Okay, so I want to start just with a little ramble here, and then of course we'll go into your questions. We've got about an hour after this. So, shitty thoughts come from shitty brain chemistry, and shitty brain chemistry is the byproduct of shitty breath and closed body, right? And so the habitual thoughts that we have, or the habitual negativity, it's literally a brain chemistry issue. whether that's about the world or our partner or ourselves, and what that does is it puts responsibility on us to elevate our brain chemistry, to open our body, to deepen our breath, to elevate our brain chemistry, because otherwise the momentum of our thoughts, our habitual thoughts, is often too much for us to change. So why people often don't change, even though they'll make incredible declarations to change, is because they don't follow through with shifting the brain chemistry. So that's what we just did is an easy 3-minute exercise that automatically just cleans you out, elevates your serotonin levels, elevates your dopamine levels. And it's probably not enough for some of that. There's just so much negativity and heaviness. Like, we need a lot more practice and a lot more movement than we think. Otherwise, we're going to get stuck in the same kind of, it's like, anybody else feel this? Like, I felt this yesterday, day before. It's like we're fucking slogging through the bog of, yeah. Anyway, so our brain chemistry it allows us to create new thoughts, including those thoughts about ourselves and our partners. And, we can talk about them all day long, but ultimately we're responsible for the quality of our energy, aren't we? Aren't we? Okay, let me just yes, we are. We're responsible for the quality of our energy, right? No matter how shitty our partner is or how much they're doing ... how many times we told them not to do this and they did it anyway, we're still responsible for the quality of our energy, and we're responsible for the intention that we're setting in any moment. Those are two things that we can take full responsibility for, right? Everybody with me? Like, even if your partner's being an asshole, you can be, okay, my intention is to be loving, or my intention is to set boundaries, or my intention is to right? So you set a clear intention, and then you manage the quality of your energy. You bring the highest quality of energy to the moment. And what happens in relationship, I've seen, is that those moments that kind of devolve into day-long, week-long, relationship-long fights and problems start to shift. But it's each moment where stuff is going to drop. That's where we have to bring our best quality of energy and the clearest intention. Okay. So I'll probably reference these things as we talk today, because I've been up since 4:30, so I'm in a bit of a mood. But yeah, let's jump in from there, and then I'll turn it over to Nicolette, and of course we can go any direction you guys want to. The last thing I'll say is, please, if you've got a couple bucks, $2, $3, $5, donate to the food bank. We're trying to, if you find any value in what we're doing here today, please pay it forward. It's been, a lot of people are in bad straits. Okay.
Thank you.
Ready when you are, Nicolette.
Great. So Linnell, you are going to jump us off. You can unmute yourself.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm just walking from the pole, so my face is all like red and I'm out of breath.
Okay, good for you.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So I'm grateful for this. So grateful. I feel like I've had such breakthroughs in following you, John. So thank you for your heart and serving all of us. So I have noticed a pattern in relating to men that are, I would say, in their purpose, but struggling financially. And the last 3 men that I've been in love with, that has been a major issue. And I have, as a business owner, definitely learned to love from my feminine a lot more instead of over controlling from my masculine in these relationships. So my question to you is, in loving a man who is working towards financial freedom, what can we do as women to serve from our deepest heart, but also I've been, I won't say protect myself, because I've just laid my heart on the altar and been ready to be slaughtered, as you say. But how can we serve a man who is struggling, let's say,
Yeah, okay.
financially?
So let me just stop you right there, because this is going to be a big issue in the next 10, 15, 20 years, because women are already under 30, women are making more than men. And that's going to continue. So this is going to be an issue where you make more money than your partner will. Anybody else have this experience? Ladies? Yeah, a few? Okay. I guess the two things I would ask are, why is that a problem? Like, if he's on purpose, like what, not that I'm judging it. Maybe it is a real problem. Like maybe it's like, maybe you have a need to be with somebody who makes more money than you. Maybe that's a need. Or maybe it's a byproduct of childhood woundedness, judgment, criticism. You know what I mean? Like, so you're going to have to tell me, like, what exactly is the problem? Is the problem's not that he makes less money than you. The problem is your relationship to it.
I'm not having an issue with relating to that. I think I was married to a man who brought absolutely nothing financially to our marriage, and I kept saying, as long as we're together and we're committed to this, that's all that matters. However,
I'm sensing that you do have it. That was the whole point of your question, is that you do have a problem with it. So do you or don't you? I mean, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm trying to help you. Like, do you have a problem with it or not?
I don't feel like I do. Maybe there's something subconscious there that I haven't acknowledged yet, but I feel like I'm loving and accepting and not judging the finances, but the problem comes back. Like, I was about to marry someone this past year, and at the end of that relationship, he said, "I'm not an asset to you, so let's just call this off." And I was like, "Well, it's not about money, so where's this coming from?" So I'm trying to unpack this to see, is there something that maybe I need to deal with, or is this just, a man needs to feel that in order to feel whole in a relationship?
Well, okay, there's a lot that could be going on. If you actually are more on purpose and more together and more structured in your life than your partners, then that will reverse the polarity in the relationship. And does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're devotional to is all I'm asking you to examine. Right? Are you devotional to consciousness? Are you devotional to stability? Right? Because money is just a question of safety, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Stability, right? So are you devotional to safety? Are you devotional to love? What are you devotional to? Just for you. I'm not talking to him, so he's not here.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when people, two things could be going on. I'm not sure. My sense was, when you asked the question, that you do have a bit of a, like, if it's a problem for you, that's fine. Just own it. Like, hey, I need a guy who makes more money than me. That actually would feel great to me. It's that, like, I want to love him, but then I don't quite respect him because he doesn't have his shit together with money, but he's a great artist, or he's a this or that. It's a conflict I see in a lot of women. And it doesn't need to be, once you get clear on what you're devotional to.
I feel like I'm devotional to love, and I keep feeling like we can survive anything together as a couple without the finances having to be that big of an issue. But it seems like it becomes more of an issue on the masculine side. They're not feeling good enough, maybe. I'm still trying to just unpack all of this.
Yeah. Well, if they're at their core, would you say these guys that you've been with are masculine essence?
Very masculine.
Okay.
Very masculine.
Okay. So the fact that you actually are more together than them will impact the dynamic. It will. So how can you be how can you be, I mean, this is just intuitive. So, you know, if I'm wrong, push back on me, but how can you be a hotter mess, right? Than them, right? How can you, like, if they're a bit of a mess in their financial world, how can you be a hotter mess in the world of love? Right? Because they're if they're masculine, they're going to need that, not just want that. They're going to need
Mhm.
to know that and if you're together all the time, if your schedule is more together, your calendar is more together than theirs, and your business is more together than theirs, and your purpose is more together than theirs, and you seem to be put together, really nice lately. You know what I mean? Like you're just put your practice maybe even better than theirs. You know, if all of those things are, if everything is more structured, there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's kind of, because there's a lot of women who have that, but you've got to be able to offer them something that they can lead you in, or
Mhm.
right. And
Mhm.
if the realm of love is what you're wanting for them, how do you lead them, how do you let them lead you into the realm of love? Like, you might have more money, a better practice, a better house, uh, a more structured calendar, all those things, right? But in the realm of love, your heart is aching and messy and wants to be ravished and devoured, and you don't know which fucking way is up, and please help me find the divine bliss of love fuck, and I'll pay for dinner. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter, right? It should, I mean, it shouldn't. And I know it does. And I know, and if it does matter, if it does, I'm speaking to women here, right? If it does matter that your partner makes less money than you, then be clear about that. Like, I want to be with you, but I need to know you're stable financially. Let's give it 6 months or a year and see how you do. Like, be honest. Like, if you can't get this together, then I'm not going to trust you. I'm not going to respect you. I'm not going to be able to surrender my heart to you ultimately. But I'm willing to try for 6 months to be your greatest cheerleader, to give you my heart, to love you up, to support you in every way I can. I believe in you. And that's important to a man who's trying to figure it out, like how to live a purpose and create money, which is not easy sometimes. Does that give you a place to enter this from?
I do think that when we are so together as women, that I can receive what you're saying, that maybe we need to get a little messy sometimes so they feel like they can lead us as our men, instead of like, I have to have it all together all the time. Somebody's got to have it all together in this household.
Right. Often maybe you probably actually have it more together, it sounds. But if their essence is masculine, they're going to need to. So the one area where I'm going to argue that you don't have it together is in your heart.
Hmm.
And but you don't. It doesn't occur to me like you really show that, or that's not something that you're willing to like let loose. So oftentimes when somebody's together, right, part of what they're protecting is their achy, messy heart.
Hmm.
Does that feel true?
Yes, I do feel like this practice has helped me um, feel more comfortable and in softening into the aching heart and the yearning heart, and showing that and being vulnerable and saying, I'm really yearning for this, or my heart's aching for you, or I want your touch. I want to feel grounded in you.
Right.
Um,
Great. So how can I help you? I mean, see, again, like, I'm a guy who you came to asking to lead you by asking a question, and I don't really know where to start. Like, you've just got it
mhm.
all together. Everything I tell you, you've got some kind of, you guys feel this? Right? So there's like you've got some kind of answer or some kind of angle, like, oh yeah, I'm doing that, and oh yeah, no, I'm not sure. So I'm like, okay, like, where do I take this woman?
Mm.
I'm just reflecting back to you, my love. No judgment. I'm just like, I'm here to serve.
Mhm.
So
Mm,
Maybe that's the thing to just start to work on in your own practice. Like, okay, like how can I offer, do you have a spiritual practice or spiritual belief? Okay.
mhm,
So how can you offer the divine? Practice offering the divine through, the more non-linear work, the more esoteric work, the more kind of dancey, messy, not linear work. Like not what we just did, right? Kundalini is a very linear practice, right? How can you start to offer your aching, messy heart to the divine
mm,
and practice doing that? And there's a lot of practices on the virtual workshop that kind of help with that. Maybe you've found a few of them. And then get clear, like, what do I need? Right? So in the realm of my heart, I'm going to practice offering more and more and more. And in the realm of kind of healthy relating, I'm going to get clear, like what is non-negotiable,
mhm,
because it's confusing sometimes for women. Like, should he seems like a good guy, shouldn't I give him a break? But maybe it's a need for you to have, for your masculine partner to have more structure than you. But you won't, here's the kicker,
mhm,
you won't attract those men if you're more together than them. I know it sounds unfair, but so everything in your life can be meticulous, and there should be a balance, obviously. But what I've seen with women over the last 50 years, 20 years that I've been doing this work, right, is that there's often an overcompensation into the togetherness area. And that shows up. And if you're more together, you're more conscious, you're more structured, you're not going to polarize someone who's more structured than you. Does that make
mm,
sense?
mhm,
You're not going to magnetize. So some part of you has to get wild and messy. And that's my invitation to you.
mm.
Like,
Let's
how can you honor, because you have it, you obviously have it, you wouldn't be here. So how do you honor and amplify and strengthen and express the wild, messy part of you?
Mm, okay.
Okay. Let us know, like come back next month and say, like, I did it. Now she's out and she's craven and ravenous and wants to destroy everything. I don't know what's going to happen, but
I don't know if I'm ready to release my inner collie.
well, it's not just collie. It's not just collie. It's all of it. It's all
No,
of it.
I'm making. I'm just joking.
And I can feel that there's a part. Look, we don't create these kind of protective structures for no reason,
Mhm,
right? There was a reason, right? There was a reason you had to have it together. And I'm just trying to say that what got you here might not get you where you want to go. Does that make
that's good.
sense? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
makes sense.
all the skills, there's nothing wrong with the skills that got you here, love. They're great. They're fantastic.
Mhm,
You seem like a beautiful person. But what's going to get you there might be a different set of skills. And that's what I would humbly suggest you start trying on.
okay.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
love the practice that you have on the website. That's it starts off with just cat cow, but it goes into like my yearning is a magnet, my devotion is a magnet. That just rocked my world and brought me to tears. So
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect one to do a few times a week and just really make that part of your dance. And yeah, that's, if you just did that and just kind of waited a few months and just like really got that into your body. And I'm speaking to the other women on the call too. Like, you just did that, like your transmission would be different, right? Your transmission, and ultimately you want to be fluid. And this is so true for so many women. My ex is a total mogul, right? And so you should, like, so going from mogul to like messy wild heart is a skill. It's a skill, and being able to do that is really important, so it's what a lot of women are having to learn how to do that. So thank you, Linnell.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You can practice that, by the way. Like if you want, like in the, in your own home, you can practice, boss bitch to messy, wild heart to dripping heart. Like you can actually like practice dancing this. You could, what we do in the women's program is they'll have like lots of, playlists, and playlists will have different energies on them. And you can practice these things, moving one energy to another and get really good at it. And it helps expand your range. I'm talking mainly to the feminine partners here. Masculine partners too. Okay.
Okay, Elodie. Elodie, you are next. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, I'm calling from France, so you probably hear a little accent in the way I speak. Hi, John.
Nice.
Thank you, Nicolette, for waving back to me. Right, I was watching a few weeks ago one of the calls, and in which, sorry, it was not a call, it was a workshop. And you were mentioning to a man that it was probably good for him to go on a celibate time for 6 months to kind of reset the approach of being with the feminine.
Right.
Would you recommend such a thing for women as well?
Depends. Why would you think you need it?
Well, I don't know. A lot of things happened to me this year. Well, the lockdown, the breakup with my ex, and I'm 40, and I'm just like, wow, okay, maybe I just need to look at things in a different point of view, and to maybe my approach to men should be maybe different, or my relationship with myself as well. I've been single for many years, and then I went into a new relationship, and then it all went crazy and all this. So I was wondering if you could recommend this kind of approach as well for women, or not really.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have, and I have a good friend who, her name's Kendra, who starts something in January every year and takes women through a no man diet, which I think is great. So that would be a great container to get into. And it's not 6 months. What does she do it for? 2 months or 3 months or something like that? 2 months? Yeah.
12 weeks.
12 weeks. Okay. Yeah. So it's a 3-month program. And I would strongly recommend anybody do that. I think all of us, however we identify, men, women, and other, and, it's important to stop pursuing relationship for a short period of time for 2 reasons. A, so that we can find out who we really are, right? And B, so that we can face the kind of demons of our relationship past. It's really important that we do both of those things, right? Because if we don't reset our relationship with, in your case, the masculine, you're just going to repeat it. It's just going to be repeated. So it's a great way to kind of reset. So yeah, I would recommend it. And I think Kendra's thing is we'll put a link, right? We'll put a link to it. If you want, it's not that expensive, and there's, it's kind of women worldwide doing it online. Nicolette's done it. I think there's a couple of, maybe Kirsten's done it, and a few people have done it here. So it's definitely worthwhile.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And okay, then I will have a look.
Is there a reason why? Is it just, is it a reason why? Like, if you were going to identify the number one thing you wanted to transmute or transform, what would that be? In a cleanse, what would that be?
What?
Are you overly critical? Do you withhold your heart? Are you like what's the thing that gets in the way of you giving your love fully?
I realized with this past relationship that I was too much of a pleaser.
Mm.
I did everything because like he had so much trouble with his ex partner, and I was trying to find solutions, and I was well, it was probably too much, and I was a lot pleasing, and I realized that I was forgetting myself behind a lot of things.
Okay. So
So
you weren't attending to your own needs. Is that right?
yeah,
That's what happens when we say we're pleasing, right? We're not attending to our own needs,
mm,
and then we get mad at them, which is because how dare they not see how much we're giving?
yeah.
So what was the need? What was the need that you were not attending to?
Well, I have problems with saying no when it's
No, no. So I want you
sorry.
to go deeper. That's
Yeah,
the symptom.
yeah.
That's the symptom, not the need. So what's the need? Underneath, why would you not say no? Because you need something. What's the need?
I need to be seen and I need to be loved.
Okay, great, great. Just you saying that, it's beautiful to hear. Okay. So can you feel that need in your heart? I need to be seen. I need to be loved. Okay. And can you just pack it in your heart, is down into the bottom of your heart? Just pack it in there. Just make it really kind of rich and dense. And then open your eyes. And let us just see. Okay. So stay with it. Like, I need to be seen. I need to be loved. And so my guess is that you didn't. So when you please, and I'm saying this for everybody, okay, so she's having a moment in her relationship where she has these needs, okay, rather than be with these needs and feel them in her heart like she is now, she'll decide to do something to please, which is a thought and a strategy. And she's not alone. Many of us do this, right? So we pop out of our need in order to strategize, like, well, if I do this, then the need will get met. All the while, we've actually abandoned our own heart, right? Whereas what I would suggest for everybody is, if you're in a relationship and you need something, spend 30 seconds. You deserve 30 seconds to be with your own need. Like, oh, I need to be seen. I need to be loved. And decide what to do from there. What's next from there? It might be like, I need you to love me. Or it might just be you show through your eyes, like, I need to be seen. Right? I need to be seen. Is this landing for you? Elodie, is that how I say your name?
Yeah, Elodie, like a melody, but
Yes,
without.
yeah. It's beautiful. Is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
landing for you?
yeah, yeah.
It's so common. We will, I can't, I mean, I must have said this 100 times in the last month, Nicolette. I don't know. Like, it's like, so you find the need, like, nobody's going to argue you need to be seen and you need to be loved.
Mm.
Like, that's inarguable. That's just your need. Right. You know,
Yeah.
I hear a lot of men talk about, like, I need to be respected. Like, I need to be trusted. That's actually a need. It's not just some flimsy desire. It's a fucking need. So your need to be seen is real, and it's beautiful, and so you honor it in your own heart first by literally going into your heart with it. Like, go in there, hang out with it, breathe into it, pack it into the root of your heart, let it, like, warm your solar plexus, and let it drip down into your womb, let it, like, be with it fully. It's infinite how much you could actually be with that need. And most of us won't even give it like 5 seconds. Then, if your partner's in front of you, you feel their need, right? So here you are, you're with your needs, you're loving your needs, you're honoring your need. Now you're feeling what they need. Now, maybe he needs freedom or respect, or maybe he needs to be touched or loved or whatever it is, right? And then you feel his need, and now you guys are actually relating from your hearts. That's all that means, is that you're in your heart feeling his heart, or vice versa. Hopefully both of them are doing it.
Yeah, that was the little thing I was going to ask you. How do you do when your partner is not into these kind of things that
He still has a heart and he still
yeah,
has needs. He still has so it's so even so you tell me, like, in that moment, in those moments, like, what did he need? What do you think he needed?
he needed to be loved as well.
Great. So in
Yeah.
that moment, he needed love, you needed love. Nothing wrong
But
with
the
that.
thing is that when we were together, he didn't realize all these things.
Well,
Like,
okay. So, but I'm just looking at you now. Like, I don't care
yeah.
about him. I'm just looking at you. And right there, you just popped right up into your head to tell me a story.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm saying, like, stay in the heart. Like, you need to be seen. You need to be loved. There's really nothing else. I mean, nothing else to say for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's okay. And so because we don't really learn how to be with our own hearts and our own needs, we will attract people who don't know how to be with our hearts and our needs.
Mm.
And the other thing that happens is that we will not be able to be with their hearts and their needs. Does that make sense? If you can't be with your own heart and your own needs, how the fuck are you going to be with anybody else's needs and their heart, right? So here we are, like, kind of relating from our childhood programming. And so if you were going to do a cleanse, my love, I would say, like, this is your thing. Like, what do I need? Like, okay, well, what do I need in my life? What do I need in this moment? What do I need in my practice? What do I need from my girlfriends? What do I need from my men friends? What do I need from, like, really allow yourself to be selfish for the sake of feeling others.
Mm.
Do you understand how this works, guys? I mean, I really want to make, those who've been in the women's group are hearing me say this again. They're like, what the fuck, man? How many times are you going to say this? But I'm just going to keep saying it, because you can't like really feel others until you're feeling yourself, can you? This is true in sex. This is true in relationship. This is true. And so, like, even just now, you being with your heart a little bit, can you guys see, like, she's brighter? Like, your face is brighter. Like, there's more glow to you, just because you have spent some time with your own heart and your own needs. So it actually makes your transmission more magnetic, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So now I'll take it one step further here for those who want to go further. So now, like, she got into the need, she packed it into her heart. I like the root of the heart, which is the densest part of the heart, the bottom of your heart, the root of your heart, right above your solar plexus. So you pack it in there. Then you start to move. I'm talking to the feminine practitioners. Then you can move. Like, then you start to breathe and move and do the practices that we have in the virtual workshop, or your own practices, or whatever. But you're in your heart the whole time, expressing in your heart, expressing your need through your body, in your heart, expressing your need through your breath, through your sound. That becomes a very powerful transmission that, to a masculine human being, is fucking candy. It's like, oh my God, I'm like, give me some of that, like, give me that deep heart need. Just let me eat it. I want to eat it. Right? I mean, it's like, it's impossible to ignore because it's so beautiful.
Okay.
So if you were going to I'm just going to give you my prescription here, take it or leave it.
Yep.
Do a cleanse, practice your fucking ass off, go into like this need, like opening your body and this like really being with your own heart, and let the other women in Kendra's program, if you go there, tell you how you're feeling, because you won't see it.
Yeah.
You won't see it. Okay. And I can almost guarantee if you do it, you'll come out just in a whole different capacity and space.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Please let us know how it goes.
Yes. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Remnants Gathering. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yay! Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Hello.
So, hello from Memphis, Tennessee.
All right.
A long time coming. So, I'm gonna try to just collapse everything in because I know a lot of people need help just like we do. So me and my partner, he's masculine. He always thought he was very masculine. He was an athlete. He played basketball, was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And after his second marriage, we got together. I have caused him to realize how feminine he is. But it's
emotionally.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having to I'm very feminine naturally, but I'm balanced. But he has this toxic feminine where he throws these tantrums. And so what happens, I go into masculine energy, and I've been being careful of caretaking. Because you were talked about the caretaking.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thin line between caretaking and then being able to discern when this is his trauma coming up and it's a real need.
Yeah.
So what happens is when he wants to be intimate, I have a history of sexual trauma and being molested as a kid. So when he wants to be intimate and he's in that energy, I relived it. It feels like he wants something. He needs something.
Well, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
That energy, what is that energy?
The energy of
emotionally unstable or emotionally?
Yes.
Okay.
Emotionally unstable. I don't feel safe. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to feel safe, and I want you to make me feel better.
So that's what he's saying to you, or you're saying to him?
Yes, emotionally and energetically, that's what is being communicated to me. But he's saying, I'm totally here for you. If you don't want to be physically intimate, you don't have to be.
Okay, so he's saying that's great. So he's saying, yes, I was emotionally unstable 2 hours ago, but I'm better now.
Yes.
Back in my body.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I love you. I want to be intimate with you, but wherever you're at, and you're not trusting me.
And I'm shut down because it's because we go in and out of it so often. I have a hard time trusting his words. And so difficult for him. I'm an empath. So many people say that we're all empathic, but I mean, I run a business where I assist.
Well, let me slow you down, my love. Let me slow you down. Yeah, I want to stay with the most important moment that I see, right? Which is, so because of your past, you can't trust him as he comes through his stuff, his emotional body, right?
Yeah.
That's on you.
Right? I want to. I
get it. So in that moment, what are you feeling? Like he's like, hey baby, I'm with you. I know it was bad and but I'm with you now. And what you're feeling is you're fearful, or if it's so, let me just make a qualifier here, because if it's so bad that his emotional reactivity is abusive, then you shouldn't stay.
Right.
But if you want to work through it and you want to be with it, you want to work through it, then part of working through it is to trust him as he comes out of it by revealing the truth of your heart. So it's not like you trust him and then just like, okay, I trust him. All right, now I'm sex bunny.
Right.
It's I'm trusting you with the truth of my heart in this moment. So you may be crying and telling him, I'm so afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. Don't hurt me, I'm afraid. I love you. I surrender. I'm scared, like I'm afraid. And you let the truth of your heart evoke the best that he has to give in that moment, not living in the past from earlier that day or earlier that week. But it comes through the truth of your heart. Does that make sense?
It
Not,
makes sense.
Yeah,
I think it's just scary.
Totally cool. Like, I'm
Yeah.
scared. I love you. I'm scared. You know,
Yeah.
don't hurt me. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's probably what your heart wants to say.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. I hold it in because the caretaking. I want to kind of help manage his temperament, and I wouldn't say it's abusive. It's more so he went through his spiritual awakening with me. I was the beginning of the spiritual awakening. So he's going through these phases and he's purging, and I see the younger him that was wounded. It's coming to the surface. So I want to be able to be present. I want to be able to offer structure.
That's a separate moment. Let me just, because I want to give you the two moments, right? There's two tracks, right?
Okay.
So I actually have a feminine emotional body. I was raised with all women, and I can get really fiery and reactive. I mean, I've learned now to be my own masculine. I've learned to create my own masculine but anybody who knows me knows that I have a feminine emotional body. I have a masculine sexual body. I have a masculine spiritual body. I have a masculine relationship to my physical body, but my emotional body is feminine, right? Which has I feel a lot, which makes me good at my job, but I'm also, but I feel a lot, right? So if he's in a feminine moment, right? If he has a feminine emotional body, what do you think he needs in that moment?
I have no clue.
Okay, well then so in that moment, what do you need?
To be honest.
No, probably underneath there's something you need. Safety? Like, I need to be safe. I need to feel safe.
Yes.
I need to feel,
I
right?
need to feel safe.
Great. That's totally perfect. So you need to feel safe. It's just like I was talking about with Elodie, that this need. So in that moment, you need to feel safe so you can be with that. And you can, from there, rather than like pretend it's okay or try to take care of him, you can just say, like, maybe I need to feel safe in this moment. Right? I need to feel safe. How the fuck is he going to argue with that? And you're also calling his masculine forward.
That's what I wanted to know how to do, how to invoke the masculine.
You do it by, well, two things, right? If he's in a feminine emotional body, there's nothing wrong with that. You can just go deeper into your heart and then relate to his heart from there, right? So in that moment, you need to feel safe. So you can feel that in your heart, like your real heart, yes?
Yeah.
Just nod when you can feel it. I'm not a mental thing. It's like, I want you to actually feel it here.
Yeah.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine what he needs in that moment. What does he need?
I think he needs to feel safe too.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So here you are, two human beings that just need to feel safe, right? So you're in your heart like, baby, I need to feel safe. Is that what you need?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's coming from here. It's not coming from here. It's from here. Now, you're feeling your heart. I need to feel safe. I know you need to feel safe. Maybe you do something with your body that expresses that. Like, maybe you need to feel safe, baby. I need to feel safe. Do you? And you start soothing him, brushing down the front of his body, which helps to soothe his anger, by the way, because it's brushing his energy down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Or maybe you take his hand. I mean, you do whatever comes to you from that place of you being in your heart with his heart will be better than the habit that you've kind of developed throughout your life. Does that make sense?
Yes. So in the moment, and I expressed this to him, how do I discern when he's expressing to me something, but energetically I'm reading something totally different? Like, how do I approach that in a healthy way?
I mean, an example, like, I'm not angry.
Yeah.
Is that what he says?
Yeah.
So just be with that. Okay, baby, you're not angry. I love you. I mean, so think about it. If he's in his feminine, what does he need?
Structure.
Yeah. He needs structure and heart. He needs both. He needs depth, which I'm saying go deep into your heart. That's depth. He needs to be seen, just like you would be. It's actually like, what would I want in that moment where I was scared and feeling unsafe? I'd want to be seen. I'd want to be told that my feelings are okay. I wouldn't want somebody to try to change my feelings, would I? If I'm my feminine. Like, that's the worst possible thing some motherfucker can do, is try to change my feelings or tell me I should get over them. Right? So I'm in my feminine, like, do not tell me to not feel. This is how he is.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a beautiful dance. Like, you go into your heart and you're like, baby, it's like, it's all good. It's all good. I'm here. I'm with you. You want to feel safe. I want to feel safe. I love you. Like, it's all good. I see you. You know what I mean? You're dancing in that kind of beautiful masculine feminine place of holding structure for him and feeling your deep heart. Is this landing? I can hear you thinking a lot about this. I want to make sure that it's landing.
I'm reacting it in my mind. So when can I be in my feminine? Like, he's on the call too. Like, so he's listening.
Yeah. So not when he's in his feminine. I mean,
see, we clash because of that.
Yeah. I mean, look, whoever's the most feminine needs the attention in the moment. Right? You have two choices, right? It's like saying, here's the hurricane coming through the living room. When can I be a hurricane? Well, you got to deal with the hurricane in the fucking living room first. Then you're going to get your chance to be, right? Now, the part of you that hates him or is mad at him because you can't be in your feminine as much as you want.
Yeah.
That's on you. That's your stuff. Right.
Is there a recommendation you could point me to where I could process that? Because I carry that a lot.
Yeah, so that's on your own practice. So bring your anger, because it's probably not him. It didn't start there. It probably started much younger, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I mean. That's your responsibility to work through. He's just being him. He's just like, hey, I'm working on it. I'm emotional. I'm an emotional guy, you know? Yeah. Right? And your reaction to that is from your childhood. So that you go deal with other women, therapy, practices that you can get in the virtual workshop will help with moving grief and that kind of stuff. So you go deal with that. And then you bring your deep-hearted structure to him when he's upset. And then the moment he gets back, like, there's a moment where he stops being in his body. I mean, he stops being totally messy and he kind of settles into his body. Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel that moment.
Yes.
Then you surrender in your feminine. In that moment, like, okay, he's in his body, like, oh, there's my baby, or there's my man, or oh, I love when you look at me like that. Like, you, whatever it is, you dance for him, you giggle at him, you coo at him, you pet him, once you show him then you invite him, like, oh, there's my man, you know, then you invite him, you go into your feminine, whatever that means to you in the moment.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't mean so the protect thing, like, if he's in his feminine and then you kind of help drop him into his mouth, he kind of processes what he needs to process. And then now he's, you know, we're never, I mean, unless it's a sexual moment where we're choosing to animate our masculine and our feminine perfectly, we're never just in our masculine and feminine, or very rarely, right? We're very rarely. we're always working with both. It's like
Yeah.
love and consciousness, sensation and feeling, and and consciousness and emptiness, like movement and stillness. We're always in both. That's the nature of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So you bring structure until he solidifies, then you can surrender your structure. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. It's I think the difficulty is I enjoy sex. And because we have so many of those moments, it makes it hard to enjoy physical intimacy with him, because I'm kind of,
because you're
it
holding
takes
on
me
to
time. Yeah.
Well, then you need to let him, then don't have sex until you guys work out some level of stability. So own that. Like, if you can't, you should not have sex if you can't. Like, I'm giving you
we were raised in church, and so it was just like, you must sleep with your man or Satan will come and take your man away with some other woman. So we're healing a lot of the religious programs.
Yeah, no, that's horrible.
Yes.
So maybe you say to him, look, baby, I want to have sex, and I want to have sex. I love having sex with you. And I need to trust us before I can surrender my body to you. But so you can definitely say that to him, and maybe you should for a week or two, right? But my sense, just looking at you and my intuitive sense, is part of it is control, right? Like, it's a way for you to keep yourself safe, to not trust that he, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you may not be able to completely let go of control. Maybe you just let go of a little bit of control. Maybe you can say, baby, I'm really scared. Can we just make out for a little while? Right? Or can you just like, just look into my eyes? Can you just breathe with me until I feel safe? Like, you shouldn't proceed until your heart can relax into trusting him. And the way that you know that is you're not thinking about the past. If you're thinking about 2 hours prior, where are you not?
Right.
Where are you not being if you're thinking?
Yeah. I'm
not
even in a headspace to be receptive.
Well, you're not in your heart is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So if you're thinking about 2 hours past, you are literally just not in your heart. So you go into your heart and you feel what you need, and you be with what you need, and then you feel what he needs, and then you wait for something to happen.
Okay.
I want to make sure this is the key for almost every relational moment that we can think of.
Yeah.
You go into your heart, you feel what you need, you feel what he needs, you wait for God, Goddess, the divine, to give you an inspired movement, an inspired sentence, an inspired sound.
Yeah.
But you do it from that place of deep heart. It will change everything. It will change the decisions you make. It'll change the word. You'll find yourself doing things and saying things and feeling things and being open to things.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Ooh,
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to try this.
Yeah, I get it, my love. And I know I'm making this sound easy. This is like the hardest fucking thing any of us have to do, which is to, hey, just go in your heart, stay in your heart, feel your needs, then decide what happens next. And I know it sounds easy. It's not. And yet it's the most important thing. I'm going to go on a limb and say it's the most important relational skill people can use today.
Wow. Can I have an honest moment with you about that?
What's that?
I want to have an honest moment.
Okay.
I really just want to smack the shit out of him, and that would make me feel better. And then I could transition into that heart smack.
Oh, okay. So I need to smack the shit out of him. Okay, so be in that space. Like, I need to smack this motherfucker. Like, shut up. Like, I need to smack. So part of you needing to smack him is your honest Kali Ma, right? And part of you needing to smack him is your childhood wound.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, but both are true. Neither are wrong. But your childhood wound deserves to be handled in your practice and your work.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you're going to end up bringing it to him. Now, you could say, "Oh my God, I want to smack you right now."
Yeah.
You could say, like you could push him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Pick up, like from your heart. Like you could work with that and see if it opens him. A lot of guys will be open by that.
That
Like,
feels
like,
so
oh,
good.
he's a mess.
Yeah.
He's a mess. He's a mess. He's a mess. And you're like, wake up. Where's my king? Where's my goddamn king? And you kind of
Where's my dragon king?
Yeah, where's my king?
Yeah.
So much shit about the Dragon King thing this week, but yeah, where's my king? And you like you can say that to him, and most guys will it'll snap them in.
Yeah.
So I don't know because he's not here, but
He is.
Oh, he is. Okay, great. Is he smiling when I did that? Is he smiling?
He's on the other end.
Okay.
We're in separate
That's what I'm
spaces.
saying. If you give him a push,
Yeah.
and he or you kind of just start to tussle with him, and he smiles. That's good. That's good.
Do men need that sometimes? Is that a masculine thing?
Totally. Like
Okay. Because
we'll
if I
go
smack my
into
girlfriend, we go fight.
He's going into his trauma. Now, I'm not saying you abuse him. I'm saying your heart is totally open. Like you absolutely should not touch him or hit him if your heart is closed. So if you're in your mind, do not touch him.
Right.
If you're in your heart and you can tussle with him and you're like, come on, where's my king? Even if it's pain, right? That, and then see, I don't know how, I can't see him. So if he's smiling when I said that, then that's probably a good sign. If he
just said, here I am in the chat. So
yeah, okay.
He just slap me, baby, slap me.
Yeah. Some guys, I definitely slap me, baby. That's a good sign. Slap me, baby. Yeah, because he's in his trauma too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you guys chose each other, because you trigger each other's trauma in the exact way. But here's the great news we'll close on this. Here's the great news for all of you. If you and your partner trigger each other in the exact way that hurts the most, that cuts the deepest, that also means that you have the capacity to heal each other. Right? From the deepest place. The deepest place. And that's the beauty. And it's totally true. So if you guys are willing to kind of, tussle in this, it's messy. It can be messy and there's mistakes and you guys will hurt each other. But if you can, but you'll have massive shifts and breakthroughs giving each other this thing, and you can actually become a source of healing. Yeah. Getting the Love You Want. Yeah. Getting the Love You Want is a beautiful book on this. And they talk about this, Harville Hendricks and his wife, Linda LaKelly Hunt, wrote this. And they talk about how, because of the space we offer, we can either really injure each other or we can heal each other. So that's where you guys are. So I'm gonna hold that possibility for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
We'll be back.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Okay.
All right, you guys. I'm sorry. These always seem to go too fast, and I can take one more question. I have about 15 more minutes, but I need to take a 3-minute break. So whoever wants to hang for one more question, I'm willing to do that, but I need to take a 3-minute break. Okay. Or let's say 2-minute break. So I'll be back at 11 after.
Right. And then Heather, are you able to stay? Great. Okay. So we'll go to Heather after John comes back. And I just put some links in the chat. So I'll just talk about that during these 2 minutes. So I put the direct link for the LA Regional Food Bank. I also put the information that our next call is going to be December 1st, same time, 7 a.m. Pacific time. And we'll be on the same link, same Zoom link. I also put the link to the virtual workshop, to the No Man Diet, And I also put information for the Art of Spiritual Intimacy online co-ed immersion that we're going to be doing with guest teacher, John's teacher, David Data is going to be joining us. We still have spots for the masculine and couples. And we have a wait list for the feminine. So if you men, masculine practitioners, if you are interested in this, we still have spots for you. Couples, we still have spots for you. And women and feminine practitioners, please feel free to sign up for the wait list. If we have spots that open up, we will we'll get you in there. And that event is going to be, yeah, really, really powerful to be able to bring David together. So you can sign up for the wait list. You can sign up for a spot at the link that I provided in the chat box. And I'll put those links in one more time for all that again. And again, if you can give even a little bit to the LA Regional Food Bank, help support people who are very intensely affected by the coronavirus, we would appreciate it. And we're coming up on 11 after the hour. There's John.
Okay.
All right, Heather, you are up. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is on feeling like enough. There's this belief coming up and it's just not enough. And in some ways it's—
When does this come up? Like just all the time, or when you're with somebody, or like, what is there?
in terms of money, mostly in terms of money, relationship, and just generally what I put out into, like from
Right.
inside out.
Right.
And I mean, there's a lot about it's maybe, I also am curious about if you've noticed this reaction to the feminism movement of this idea of, oh, that just means women should be making money, basically. And I've encountered that attitude a little bit of like now, like I just feel not enough.
Right, because you're not making enough money.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just break this down a tiny bit. So the thing about feminism, which was totally needed, and I'm absolutely I can't wait for women to take over the world. Please hurry for Christ's sake, right? But what was celebrated from the mid-70s on was the masculine. Even though it was called feminism, if we're really honest with each other, what was celebrated was the masculine. Make more money, compete with men in the workplace, move, like set goals, make, all that stuff. So the masculine was being celebrated and embraced by women. So that was for about 50 years. And now women are coming out of it, and men too. And we're starting to move, hopefully, into a place where the feminine is going to be celebrated and make money for being in the feminine. And it's actually starting to happen. Can you guys feel what I'm saying? Like you just look on Instagram and look at all the feminine embodiment coaches. Like that's basically making money, celebrating the feminine, right? So it's starting to shift. I think women women kind of learned, like, wait a minute, like I don't want to just be the masculine in a feminine body, in a woman's body. Like I actually want to be a whole human being having fluid capacity to do both. And so there's that. I want to put that out, like the masculine, there's a cultural pressure. And this belief that there's a couple ways we could go about this. So you have a belief that you're not enough. Is it true?
No.
Great. So when you believe that you're not enough, how do you think, feel, and act?
I noticed some addictive tendencies, and I noticed very quick burnout, and I noticed overcompensating and all of that.
Great. So you have this belief that I'm not enough, and when you believe that belief, you fall into addictive patterns or tendencies. You tend to burn out. You tend to overcompensate. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Great, great. So since this belief is just kind of arbitrary, so how would you be if that wasn't true? Like if you didn't believe that, how could you be in the world?
I could be more willing to be seen and heard, and trust that what I share and what I give is enough, that like purpose doesn't have to be I get caught up in thinking like, how can like purpose have like the biggest impact possible, right? And I noticed that more so prevents me from taking
No,
action.
stay with what you could be, right? Like stay with what you could be. Like, so if you didn't believe that, like I would be able to, I think I heard you say I'd be able to kind of relax into just being who I am. I would be able to not worry about delivering like a massive purpose. I would be enough, just my gifts to the world would be enough. Did I get those right?
Yes.
Is there anything else? I mean, those are big. Yeah. Okay. So here we have this arbitrary belief that you sometimes believe, I'm not enough. When you believe that, you have this experience of life. If you don't believe that, you can have this experience of life. It's really that fucking simple. I mean, so I just modeled what's called The Work by Byron Katie, for those of you who know that. So get that book, my love. It's just such a simple practice for breaking down beliefs.
Okay.
It's called The Work. You can find it everywhere. The Work by Byron Katie. And it's just like, okay, here's a belief. Is it true? When I believe it, here's how I experience life. If I didn't believe it, I have all these new possibilities. So let's just flip it around. Like, if you were just going to flip this arbitrary belief of I'm not enough that isn't true, what would the opposite of it be?
I'm a gift. Perfect.
Look, everybody's smiling. Like, I'm a beautiful gift. I'm a beautiful gift. Whatever your words, but I'm a gift. I'm a gift to the world. I'm a gift to life. Yeah. And it's just as easy to believe that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you just, thank you for modeling this, because you modeled it so beautifully. But all of those old beliefs, it's basically the dump that our parents took on us. God bless them, right? But they basically took a big steaming dump on our chests, and based on their parents and their parents' parents, and you know what I mean? And we're left like trying to I'm just gonna run this analogy into the ground. We're left like cleaning it off for the rest of our life, right? And so it's not their fault, but it's just remnants of that. It's residue. So that thought is a residue of a karma that you're not responsible for. I mean, you are responsible for, but it's not your fault. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So you are responsible for the quality of your thoughts. You are responsible for the quality of your practice, of course, but you're not responsible for the fact that you have those thoughts. That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah. So give yourself a little break, my love. You're young. You got plenty of time, right?
Okay.
You remind me of my daughter. Like I don't want to how old you are, but you remind me of, you got a lot of time. I'm pretty clear about that. You got a lot of time to work on this. The fact that you're even on a call like this is great. And and pick up that book. It's so easy to do, and it'll just bring more clarity and awareness to your habits of thinking. So if you do that, that's a really beautiful, let's call it a masculine practice, because it's about awareness and structure and bringing structure to your thought.
Mm-hmm.
So then, there's a ton of practices on the virtual workshop where you can get into your heart's desire, whether it's to give a gift to the world or find a certain kind of love or express yourself sexually or whatever it is. And you can practice with your body living in that transmission. Right. And so if you do both of those things consistently over the course of a few weeks, a few months, you will start to feel different and you will start to feel better, and your gift will just naturally shine. But it takes some work, you know what I mean? Like, because you've got this karma that you were born into, all of us, right? And it takes some work to kind of retrain our nervous system and our mind and our body so that we're not thinking those thoughts and feeling those feelings all the time. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And I mean, it's just been made very clear that I could hear that little soundtrack looping. and I realized that it's just, I mean, it's physiological. I mean, it's so many things, but it doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's David has a beautiful way of talking about this. He calls it it's like digestion. Like those thoughts just kind of happen naturally, just like digestion happens naturally. And we aren't really paying a lot of attention to our digestion. We're not going like, okay, like, oh yeah, that's I'm digesting the eggs. There it is. There's the egg. Okay. No, we're not doing that. So the less attention you pay to those thoughts, the better.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so glad. Come back and tell us, how you are in a couple months.
Okay.
And please, feel free. There's for all of you, there's like a 7-day trial. You can binge on practices in the workshop and get something in your body, and that's free. So you can jump on that and do that if you want to.
Great.
Thank you, Heather. It's good to meet you.
Good to speak.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Okay, please be safe out there. Keep, everybody, there was one of Claire's favorite books was she had a tattoo. Keep calm, stay calm, carry on. What was the name of that book? God damn it. Having a senior moment here. Anyway, stay calm, carry on today in the midst of all this craziness. And I'm glad that we got to spend some time together. Thank you all for showing up on election day, for those of you who are here. And we'll talk again next month.
Thank you all. See you next month. Take care.